As a young adult, I have to realize that our parents will do the most to keep us out of trouble and see us to be successful. I personally have seen some of my friends my age have their kids already. Some were fresh out of high school, and some even had to put their lives on hold in order to take care of their new baby coming into the world. I believe this could all be prevented if sexual education was taken a bit more seriously. Sexual education is a key factor to the development of these students' lives throughout their adolescent years. The motive of emphasizing sexual education at home is a big part in learning the advantages and disadvantages it can lead to. Yes, they do teach sexual education in school. Yes, it should be enough, but is it really? I believe sexual education starts from the home they live in. Parents should be the first ones to acknowledge the topic and communicate to their kids about what will happen once puberty hits. It should be the parents who begin to converse with their kids and communicate to them how things come about. In a study done in the 2002-2003, CICAS reported that only 66.8% received some type of comprehensive sexual education. Only 23.8% received an abstinence-only course, while the 9.4% received no sexual education at all. Parents should be able to help their kids go through this time in their lives, which can become such a difficult life for them, and it could become even worse if the measures are not taken correctly. Many of these kids think they have that having sex will not lead to anything, but they are wrong for thinking things like that. Since these kids are not being educated on sexual education, they do not know the consequences it could lead to. It could be as small as having nothing happen to them, up to getting some disease, to even having a child, or to even having a life-threatening disease, such as HIV. I have seen parents that could care less about their kids' whereabouts and believe they're at some friend's house, but you know that's not true. This could be something that I would consider to be neglecting your child. As far as how advanced we are becoming with technology and everything, I think that plays a big role and one of the reasons why we have so much teen pregnancies as well as sexually transmitted infections statistically. If you walk into a car, you'll hear songs about having sex. You watch a movie, it's something that pops up. It's inevitable at this point in time. On April 14, 2016, Reuters wrote that the teen pregnancy has been on a decline, but it could be lower if comprehensive sexual education were more widespread. I do believe this statement to be true. If there was a bit more uh, importance giving into sexual education, I think more people would be aware of what it is, and some would even stop and completely just kind of look at life and be like, I don't need this right now. These things do not fix themselves. There has to be a way, or there has to be somebody to push these ideas into people as well as into the community. I believe that all education does start at home. Parents must be able to do their part in helping their kids understand the concepts and the difficulties that can arise while having unprotected sex. There are many different contraceptives available to use in order to prevent these unwanted pregnancies as well as all of these unwanted diseases. CBS News mentioned in an article from January 19, 2016, that conservative activists insist that any school-based sexual education emphasize abstinence as one of the wisest choices there is. And yes, abstinence is one of the wisest choices there is. I remember them telling me don't have sex is the best way to prevent any unwanted things such as pregnancies and diseases. And it is true. You can't get pregnant unless you have sexual intercourse. You can't get infected or an STD from not having sex. These are all sexually transmitted things. And if you're not having sex, there's no way for you to get any of these two things. If it is hard for a parent to control an adolescent, but I think it'd be best to help have the control while they're still kids. It's harder to control an adolescent than to control a kid. If they have any questions, inform them about the things they need to know. Give them answers to the questions they have. Don't let them ask anybody else but you. Give them the correct information that they need. We have the antidote in our hands to help this generation to make the right decisions before they are marked for the rest of their lives. Talk to your kids about having sex. Yes, it might be a bit uncomfortable with them, but even it's for the best in them. Communicate with them. Build that trust with them that they're able to tell you anything and they won't keep anything out of their lives from you. It could be difficult, but you have to learn how to communicate with your child, and they must be able to confide in someone who knows them better than they know themselves. We want to see this upcoming generation learn from the mistakes that they have done and to help them prevent and steer them clear of such difficulties, these consequences that can occur if they're not properly informed about relationships with others.